The text from my brother Tyler came through at 6:47 p.m. on a Friday, just as I was reviewing quarterly reports in my home office. The message made me pause mid-sentence in my analysis of overseas manufacturing costs. "Hey sis, borrowed your cheap necklace from your jewelry box for my date tonight. Thanks." Smiling face with smiling eyes. I stared at the message, trying to process what I had just read. Tyler was in my apartment, going through my jewelry box, taking my cheap necklace. The problem was I didn't own any cheap necklaces. My phone buzzed again. "Don't worry, I'll take good care of it. Just wanted something nice for Emma. You know how she is about jewelry." Oh, I knew exactly how Emma was about jewelry. Tyler's girlfriend of 6 months had expensive taste and a habit of borrowing things that never seemed to make it back to their original owners. She'd already kept 2 of my scarves and a designer handbag, claiming they looked better on her anyway. But this time was different. I rushed to my bedroom and opened my jewelry box. Most of my everyday pieces were still there. The pearl earrings from grandma's vintage bracelet, the simple gold chain I wore to work. But the blue velvet compartment in the back corner was empty. The compartment where I kept the Salon Sapphire Necklace. My pulse quickened as I grabbed my laptop and pulled up the Sterling Luxury Jewelers inventory database. I scrolled until I found item number 4429. Salon Sapphire and Diamond Necklace. 18 kt white gold setting. 15.7 carat center stone surrounded by 8.3 carats of diamond accents. Estimated retail value, $2.2 million. Tyler had just stolen a $2.2 million necklace, and thought it was cheap costume jewelry. I typed back, "Have fun." Then I immediately called James Morrison, head of security for Sterling Luxury Jewelers. "James, it's Victoria. I need to report a theft." "Miss Sterling, what's been stolen?" "Inventory item number 4429. The Salon Sapphire piece." I heard him typing. "The piece you took home for the insurance appraisal photos?" "That's the one. It's gone. From my residence." "Jesus. Do you know who took it?" I glanced at Tyler's cheerful text with its smiling emoji. "Yes. My brother." "Your brother? Miss Sterling, are you sure you want to report this as theft? Family disputes can get complicated legally." "James, that necklace is worth more than most people's houses. This isn't a family dispute. It's grand theft." "Understood. Where is he now?" I forwarded Tyler's earlier text about his anniversary dinner with Emma at Cha Lauren. "They're probably just being seated for their 7 o'clock reservation. I'll contact LAPD and have units dispatched. Do you want to press full charges?" I thought about Tyler's texts, the casual way he'd taken something from my apartment without asking, assuming my jewelry was nothing more than cheap accessories. "Full charges, James. Treat this exactly like any other $2 million theft." "Copy that. I'll call with updates." I hung up and sat in my office, surrounded by the reports and business documents Tyler never asked about. He thought I just worked at a jewelry store. He'd never asked which one or how I could afford my downtown loft. If he had, he might have known the truth. Sterling Luxury Jewelers was my company. I'd inherited it from our grandfather at 25 and spent the past 8 years building it into one of the most prestigious jewelry houses on the West Coast. The cheap necklace Tyler had stolen wasn't just jewelry, it was part of our exclusive collection. Pieces so valuable they required armed transport and specialized insurance. Taking inventory without authorization wasn't borrowing. It was felony theft. 20 minutes later my phone rang. "Miss Sterling, this is Detective Martinez with LAPD. We have your brother in custody." That was fast. Well, it's not every day we get a call about a stolen $2 million necklace. We took this one seriously. "What's his condition?" "Confused mostly. He keeps insisting the necklace is fake and that his sister works at a jewelry store. He seems genuinely shocked we arrested him." "Did you give him permission to take it?" "No. I was at work when he entered my apartment. I only learned about it when he texted me." "Detective, my brother thinks I'm a retail employee living paycheck to paycheck. He has no idea what I actually do for a living. Owning Sterling Luxury Jewelers. That necklace is part of our private collection." There was a pause. "You own the company?" "Yes. I inherited it. I've been CEO for 8 years." "And your brother doesn't know this?" "He's never asked. He's made assumptions and I've never corrected them." "Why not?" I looked around my office at the awards, the framed Forbes article, the photos with celebrity clients. Because I wanted to see if my family loved me for who I am, not what I own. And the test didn't go well. My brother just stole from me because he assumed I had nothing worth protecting. Detective Martinez was quiet, then said, "Miss Sterling, your brother is asking to speak with you. He's shaken up. Will you come down to the station?" I checked my watch. Almost 9 o'clock. Tyler and Emma's anniversary dinner was thoroughly ruined. "I'll be there in 30 minutes. The precinct was buzzing with Friday night arrests. Petty criminals, drunk tourists, the usual chaos. Detective Martinez, a tired-looking man in his 40s, greeted me at his desk. "Miss Sterling." "Detective Martinez. Your brother is in interview room 2. He's been asking for you." His girlfriend's upset, demanding to know why we're treating this so seriously. Apparently, she told the restaurant staff the necklace was fake. Of course she did. Several diners took photos during the arrest. This is going to make the news. I hadn't considered that. Local outlets would devour the headline, $2 million necklace theft at upscale restaurant. Detective Martinez led me to a small room where Tyler sat at a metal table, still in his dress shirt and tie from the interrupted date. His hands were cuffed and he looked smaller, like a boy caught stealing candy. He looked up when I entered. "Victoria, thank God. Can you please tell them this is all a misunderstanding?" I sat down across from him. "What kind of misunderstanding, Tyler?" "The necklace," he said quickly. "They're saying it's worth $2 million, which is insane. It's just some costume jewelry you keep in your bedroom." "Why did you think it was costume jewelry?" "Because you work at a jewelry store, Vic. You're not exactly making big money, right? I figured it was just some knockoff piece you got from work." "Tyler, what jewelry store do I work at?" He blinked, confused. "I don't know. Some local place downtown. You never talk about work. Have you ever asked?" "Asked what?" "Where I work. What I do. How I can afford a $2,000 a month loft in the Arts District on retail wages." Tyler faltered. I figured you had roommates or something." "I don't have roommates." "Then how do you afford it?" I pulled out my phone and showed him the Sterling Luxury website. The homepage featured a photo of me beside the company logo. Victoria Sterling, CEO and Creative Director. Tyler's eyes widened. That's you." "That's me." "You're the CEO?" "I'm the owner. Grandpa left me the company when he passed away 8 years ago." His face went pale. "Grandpa's jewelry store?" "Sterling Luxury isn't a store, Tyler. It's a luxury jewelry house. We create custom pieces for celebrities, wealthy collectors, and high-end retailers. That necklace you borrowed? It was made for a private client who's considering a purchase. $2 million. 2.2, I corrected. Tyler put his head in his hands. "Oh my God, Victoria. I had no idea. I thought you were you live so normally. You drive that old Prius. You wear simple clothes. You never seem to have a lot of money." "I have plenty of money. I just don't feel the need to prove it to everyone around me." Just then Detective Martinez knocked and entered. "Miss Sterling, I need to discuss the charges with you. Given the value of the item, this is felony grand theft. Your brother could be looking at up to 3 years in prison." Tyler's head snapped up. 3 years. For borrowing a necklace. "For stealing a $2 million necklace," Martinez corrected. "The courts don't care about family relationships or intentions. They care about the value of what you took." "But I was going to give it back." Tyler protested. "When?" I asked coldly. "After your date? Tomorrow morning?" "Tyler, you took a $2 million necklace to a public restaurant to impress your girlfriend. What if you'd lost it? What if someone mugged you? What if Emma decided to keep it?" Tyler's face crumbled as reality set in. "Miss Sterling," Martinez continued, "as the victim, you can request we drop the charges, but given the circumstances, the DA may still prosecute." I looked at my brother, cuffed, pale, and finally understanding what he'd done. "I need to think about it." "Victoria, please," Tyler said desperately. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. In 8 years, you've never once asked me about my work, my finances, my life," I said evenly. "You've just assumed everything. And tonight you broke into my apartment. I have a key. For emergencies," I snapped. "Not for stealing." You took something without permission because you thought it wasn't valuable enough to matter. What does that say about how much you respect me, Tyler? He was silent. Martinez stepped outside to give us privacy. For the first time in years, my brother actually looked at me. Not through me, not past me, but at me. Tyler, I asked quietly, what did you think I do all day? I guess I thought you worked behind a counter selling jewelry. I run a company with 47 employees. I design custom pieces for A-list celebrities. I manage relationships with suppliers in 12 countries. I oversee a production facility, a showroom, and 3 retail partnerships. And you didn't know, because you never asked. His voice cracked. You're right. I was wrong. That necklace represents 6 months of work. The design, the sourcing, the craftsmanship. It's not just jewelry, Tyler. It's art. He started to cry. Victoria, I know I screwed up. I know I disrespected you. But please, don't let them send me to prison. I'll do anything to make this right. I studied him. My little brother. Only 3 years younger, yet somehow completely oblivious to who I really was. What would make this right, Tyler? I don't know. Pay you back. With what money? You're in pharmaceutical sales and just dropped $300 on dinner to impress a girl. You can't afford this. I'll get a loan. A $2 million loan? You don't understand the scale of what you've done. Then tell me what to do. I thought about the years of family dinners where he dominated conversations with stories about his job, never once asking about mine. The times he borrowed money without wondering how I had it. The complete lack of curiosity. Finally, I said, "You're going to work for me." He looked stunned. What? 6 months. Entry level. You'll learn every part of the jewelry business from the ground up. You'll understand what goes into creating pieces like the one you stole. Victoria, I don't know anything about jewelry. You'll learn. And you'll be paid minimum wage. Minimum wage? His voice cracked. You took a $2 million necklace because you assumed it was worthless. You need to learn the value of things, including work. But my job at Pfizer. We'll have to wait. This is the deal, Tyler. 6 months working for me or 3 years in prison for grand theft. He was quiet for a long time. Finally, he whispered, "What about Emma? What about her? She's going to be so embarrassed." Everyone at the restaurant saw me get arrested, Tyler muttered. Tyler, I said evenly, your girlfriend watched you steal jewelry from your sister to impress her. If she's embarrassed, maybe she should reevaluate her priorities. She didn't know I was stealing it. She knew you were taking things from my apartment without asking. She's been wearing my scarves and carrying my purse for months. Tyler looked genuinely surprised. She kept your stuff? I thought you'd given those to her. When exactly did I give Emma permission to keep my belongings? The realization dawned on his face. She said you told her she could have them. I never told her any such thing. So, she's been stealing from you too? Apparently. Tyler put his head back in his hands. God. Victoria, what kind of people have we become? I don't know, Tyler. You tell me. Just then, Detective Martinez returned with paperwork. Miss Sterling, have you decided about the charges? I studied my brother one last time. I want to drop the felony charges, on the condition that my brother enters into a restitution program. Martinez frowned. What kind of restitution? 6 months of community service. He'll work for my company to understand the value of what he took. The detective raised an eyebrow. That's unusual. But if both parties agree. Tyler, do you accept these terms? Yes, Tyler said instantly. Absolutely. Yes. And, I added, you'll return Emma's borrowed items to me tonight. As soon as I get out of here, he promised. Detective Martinez began preparing the paperwork. Mr. Sterling, you're lucky to have a sister willing to work with you on this. I know, Tyler admitted quietly. 2 hours later we left the station together. Tyler had been officially released into my custody, and the necklace was safely returned to Sterling Luxury's secure storage. Victoria, he said as we walked to my car. I need to ask you something. What? Are you really worth millions of dollars? I unlocked my phone and pulled up the most recent Forbes article. The company's valued at about $60 million. My personal net worth is around $40 million. $40 million? He stopped walking. I've been borrowing $20 from you for gas money. You have. I'm such an idiot. You're not an idiot, Tyler. You're just self-absorbed. There's a difference. We drove in silence for several minutes before he spoke again. So, what's my job going to be? You'll start in the workshop learning how jewelry is made. Then inventory management, client services, and eventually sales. By the end of 6 months, you'll understand every aspect of the business. And then you'll have learned to respect what other people do for a living, including your sister. He swallowed hard. Victoria, I'm really, really sorry. Not just for taking the necklace, but for never seeing you. For never asking about your life. For never caring about your success. I know. How do you know? Because you're here, Tyler. You could have called Dad to bail you out or hired a lawyer or blamed me for overreacting. Instead, you're accepting responsibility. You're trying to make it right. I want to make it right. Good. Because Monday morning, 7 a.m., you start learning what it really takes to create something worth $2 million. Tyler nodded. I'll be there. And for the first time in years, I believed my little brother was finally ready to grow up. 6 months later, Tyler had become one of my most dedicated employees. He understood the craftsmanship, the artistry, and the discipline required to succeed in luxury goods. More importantly, he finally understood his sister. The necklace that had started it all sold to a private collector for $2.4 million. Tyler helped coordinate the sale.